Luke said, of course, it's the tech guy. Okay, so come into hands and knees, shoulders over your wrists. We're going to warm up our spine this morning or this right now over the lunch hour. So we're going to do some different kinds of back bends. We'll do back bends that get both the thoracic spine and the lumbar spine. So you'll be able to find a lot of options really accessible for any sort of back stuff that might be going on. So let's do a few rounds of cat-cow by pressing down into the earth. Tuck your chin on your exhale, draw your abdomen up to your spine. Inhale, use your back muscles, lengthen out across the front of your body, open up your collarbones, reach your tailbone back and up. Exhale, tuck your chin, press down into your hands, draw pubic bone to navel, lift behind your heart. Exhale, hips reach back, spine extends, pull hands back to knees without moving them. Exhale again into cat pose, broaden across your shoulders, use your abdomen muscles, and then inhale, back muscles, hands pull towards you. Move through these movements a couple more times, linking breath to movement, exploring how your spine and shoulders and hips feel. Couple more times. And then we'll walk our hands one paw print forward, tuck your toes, and send your hips back towards your heels. And then you'll inhale, tuck your chin as you round forward like we would in a plank wave. Keep going until your shoulders arrive over your wrists, and then you can send your hips down, reach your heart forward, almost like you were doing an up dog, but you're not resting in it. You're still supporting yourself. Exhale, spine extends, think like cow pose. Inhale, round your back like cat, come forward, heart reaches forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, lift up, round forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift, come forward, shoulders over wrist, heart reaches forward, hips down slightly, and then back. Now come back forward. So you're in tabletop. You may need to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. I'm actually going to turn towards the camera to show this. You'll take your right hand, reach it towards the top left corner of your mat and press down into the heel of your hand. Then drop your shoulder down towards the mat. Bend your left elbow out and you'll pull your right hand towards you and back like you're swimming. Come up and over, and then exhale. Drop your right shoulder down. One more time. Inhale, reach up, open across your heart. Exhale. You get a nice stretch through your left side, right side. And then we'll come back to center, do the other side. Take your right hand towards the front of your mat, or left hand, left shoulder dips down. Inhale, press down into your right hand, reach up with your left. Exhale, pull back. Swim forward one more time. And then come back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, send your hips back, and then extend through the backs of your legs to find downward dog. Hands as wide as your shoulders, turn slightly out, first finger aligned with the outside edge of your mat. Feet as wide as your hips. Bend one knee at a time. Find really fluid motions. No rushing. Feel free to linger if something feels particularly interesting, transformative, or just get curious about particular stopping point. can feel this into your hips, calves. And then we'll all come into center. Lift your heels over your toes and take your heels over to the right. So you're in a big side bend here. Walk your left hand forward, so on your left fingertips, and then gaze is underneath your left armpit. Knees bent slightly, pointing towards the left side of your mat. Inhale, come back through center. Take your heels to the left. Walk your right hand forward on your fingertips. Open up through your right side. Knees bent maybe slightly, pointing towards the right side of your mat. And then come back to center. Lift your heels straight over your toes. Tuck your chin. Lift behind your heart. Roll forward into plank pose. Press into your fingertips. And then slowly make your way down to the mat. We're going to kind of spice up our cobra poses today. So follow me here. Anchor the tops of your feet down, knees lift. We'll do just a baby cobra, really using your back muscles, shoulders loop. Lift your heart forward. Exhale, release. And now we're going to do what's called Sahaja Bhujangasana. So there's more of a fluid movement to it. I think actually I'm going to try to do it this way. Loop your right shoulder up. Let your right shoulder lead as you look towards the back. Come back to center. Exhale, drop your right shoulder back down. Let's do that again. Left side, left shoulder lifts up. Roll up. And exhale, left shoulder down, both down. We'll loop your shoulders again. Come up as high as you can. Open up across your collarbones. And then release. Hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Navel lifts off the mat. And then through plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale out your mouth. Another one if you need it. Clear the slate. And then inhale, reach out through your right heel. Exhale, draw your knee in through center. Lift from your middle. Shift forward, place your foot next to your thumb. Ground your back heel. So you're in heel to heel or even wider alignment. Secure the outer edge of your back foot into the mat. Whoop. Thumbs lead. Sweep your arms up as you inhale. Exhale, hands come back. Ooh, let's do this. We're going to start over. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Heart leads. Hands come back. Right shoulder on the inside of right knee. Inhale, sweep forward and up. Palms together. Exhale, hands through center, dive forward. Square your hips before you come down. Inhale, lunge, pulse, press down into your fingertips. Exhale, reach out through your left heel forward through your heart. Palm seal, step into plank. Elbows point back. Slowly lower down, maybe hover right before you hit the earth, and then plant. Tops of feet anchor. Move fluidly like Mercury through Cobra, and then back to the earth. Tuck your toes. Maybe find a little hover right as you lift, and then back to downward dog. We're balancing strength and ease. Lead with your breath. Left leg lifts. Exhale, knee through center. Pull up through your midsection. Left foot to thumb. Ground your right heel, heel to arch alignment. Thumbs lead. Left shin pressing forward. And then exhale. Left hip moves back. Dive forward. Arms sweep back. Gaze to your back foot. Use your strong center to help you rise back up. Palms together. Exhale, pour your heart forward. Hands to the earth. Square your back foot. Inhale, draw energy in from the earth. Exhale, left shin and right heel move in opposite directions. Seal your palms to the mat. Step into plank. Exhale, patiently lower down. Find a little hover and then plant down. Peel yourself off. Lead with your heart. Exhale, release. Hands underneath your shoulders through plank or knee plank. Back to downward dog. Right foot. Inhale, stretch back. Reach from navel to heel. Exhale, draw your knee in. Foot to thumb. Set up for warrior one. Press your feet down and apart. Hands lift, heart lifts. Exhale. Stay long through your spine as you sweep forward. Arms reach overhead. Inhale, hands down towards the earth. Forward, up, palms together. And dive back down. Square your hips. Lunge pulse. Inhale. Exhale. Step back into downward dog or plank, and then exhale down to the earth. Little hover. Tops of feet press down, shoulders loop. Reach your heart forward. Press your feet down and back, and soften to the earth. Come back through plank or knee plank. And left leg, reach back. Exhale, foot to thumb. Right heel lowers. Press down to rise up. Press into the outside edge of your back foot a lot. Exhale, hands back, left shoulder inside of left leg. Look backwards. Inhale, rise up. Palms together. Exhale, bow forward. Square your hips. Inhale, navel to spine. Exhale, stretch your right heel back. Step into plank. Lower down, little hover. Loop your shoulders. Release. If you find that little hover as you lift two. It doesn't have to be for long, but just enough to slow you down and keep you from rushing through transitions. Last time on right and left, reach out through your right heel. Knee to center shift. Warrior one. Arms reach up. Pinkies lead, sweep back. Right hip stays moving backwards. Inhale, guide your arms up over your head. Hands through midline. Back. Your upper back. Exhale, reach your heart forward. Stepping back into plank with control. Elbows brush your sides as you lower. Little hover. Shoulders loop. Open across your collarbones. Liberating movement. Hands underneath your shoulders. Little hover. And then back to downward dog. Left side. Breath first, then movement. Inhale. Exhale. Foot to thumb. Seal your back foot. Press down, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Look to the back of the mat. And then peel yourself back up. Arms reach back towards the sky. Hands through center. Hips square. Inhale, pull abdominals in, and then exhale, use your back to lengthen. Step into plank, nice and slow. Elbows point back. Little pause. Shoulders loop, heart reaches forward. Lift with your back. Come up for a breath of fresh air. Release. And then toes tuck. Slight hover. Back to downward dog. In downward dog, we'll pause for 3 breaths or so. Really press into your hands. Press between the space between your first finger and your thumb. This is your moment where you don't have to do anything else but just be here. Become aware of your foundation, the support of the earth below you. And then come down to your knees and have a seat on your heels or any place that's comfortable for you for a quick demo. So our core work today is not new. We've done it before. We're going to do it in 3. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. So I'm going to show you like a quick run through of what we're going to do. So you'll tops of feet press down, and then engage your lower abdominals like we do, kind of like if your hips were doing cat pose. So you're pulling pubic bone up towards navel. And I'll show you quickly. You don't have to do this right now. When you press into tops of your feet, lean back, engage your lower abdominals, reach your hands forward, and then swim up. So we'll do that 5 times, and we'll do 3 rounds of those. Now it's your turn to join it. Yay. Okay. So arrange and organize your hips over your knees. Press your tops of your feet into the mat. Engage your lower abdominals. Helps a little bit to make some noise. Turn your palms out and then lean back. Keep everything straight. Reach your hands forward. Exhale, swim your way back to the top. Hands come behind you, reach forward, stay in a straight line. Exhale back to center. Inhale, really use your legs to help you here too. Swim forward. Inhale, long line from knees to the crown of your head. Back to the top. One more time. Inhale, reach back. Pause here. Bring your hands to your heart. We'll take just a couple of breaths. You can find some subtle pulsations if that's helpful. And then come back to center. Ooh, I'm going to feel this in my quads tomorrow. 2nd time I've done this today. Take your hands down to the earth. Move your hips in an organic way. Articulate your spine in every direction. And then we will do this again. Hips over knees. And before we head back, I really want you to notice something, that when I go back, I'm not bending or rounding anywhere, or I'm not leaning back. One straight line. So let's start. Hands open, like someone's handing you a pizza. Inhale, reach for the pizza. Exhale, swim towards the pizza. Lean back. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, reach. Reach forward, turn your palms out, come behind you. This time we'll pause, reach forward, bring your palms together. Stay here, hold in this tension that you know is strength building. This is why you come, this is why you do this, to get stronger. And come back to center, hands to the earth. Move through some Sahaja type cat-cow. Really organic movements. And then we'll do one more round. Yes. I know that's what everybody said just now. Press the tops of your feet down. Use your anchor. This is a good support. Palms open, gesture of receiving. Engage your lower abdominals. Pull everything up. Reach forward. Palms out. Turn open. Inhale. And exhale. Keep going. 2 more. Reach forward. Solidify your center. Pull your hands in. Little pulsations, just micro movements here. Stay nice, strong. Long line from the crown of your head to your knees. And then come back up to center. Whew. Palms down. Easy movements. Release your lower back. Soften through your sacrum. Maybe wag your tail from side to side. Your quads will probably feel this tomorrow more than anything. And then, oh yes, from here, no more core surprises, but we do have one thing I want us to do in between. So from here, we'll come into dolphin, which a lot of us have done before. So I want to call something out that was recently brought to my attention, that when we come into dolphin, this isn't a surprise, that there's a tendency for our elbows to go out, but that's actually kind of harmful on our shoulders to bear that much weight. So if when you come up, your shoulders, you can't help from your elbows coming out, bring your palms together instead, and you'll find that you'll be able to keep your elbows in the same distance or in line with your shoulders. So we'll take this, we'll all come up together, and then you can kind of start to figure out, are my elbows going wide? Yes, okay, bring them back in, and I'll bring my palms together. It'll make that a little easier for you to bear that load. And it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's a better decision for you to be safe with your shoulders than try to force something. So we'll all start with our palms flat, elbows in line with your shoulders, palms, fingers spread wide, tuck your toes and lift your hips. Send your shoulders away from your elbows. Notice if your elbows have splayed, and bring your palms together if you need to. And then maybe you could walk your feet in. Definitely not required. Maybe your hips start to arrive over your shoulders, also not required. Keep pressing down into your forearms so that you're lifting your shoulders away from the earth while pressing your elbows down into the earth. Those two movements are what's creating a lot of strength and stretch here, which we'll be using in our back bends shortly. One more breath. And exhale. Release your knees. Ooh. Take your hands. We'll just find a comfortable kneeling position. Roll your shoulders a couple of times. Take your ear from side to side. I know that can be a lot, especially when we've been doing so much of this action at our desks. That can feel really intense. All right, now back to downward dog. In downward dog, this is a great place, another great place for a clearing breath if you need it. Press a lot into the space between your first finger and your thumb so that you're not favoring the outsides of your hands when you're in downward dog, but you're using the entire palm to help support you in this position. One more breath here, just acquainting ourselves with our foundation. And then reach your right heel back and up. Stretch, lengthen from your heel all the way to crown of head. Exhale, draw your knee in, lift from center, place your foot next to your thumb. Take a soft bend of your back knee, press your legs together, and then inhale, reach forward and up. Bend at your elbows, open your palms to the front of your mat. And as you bend, press your elbows down, open up across your collarbones, draw your shoulder blades together. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, pull elbows down and broaden across your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, expand. Inhale, contain. One more time, elbows press down, really exaggerate, press your elbows out. Inhale, draw back up, lift your hands, palms together, reach out through your left heel, forward with your heart. Hands come down to the earth and ground your back knee. From here, take your hands on the inside of your front foot. And you have a couple of options. You can either stay here in low lunge or walk your hands forward so you have a long spine here, or you maintain this length and from here bring your elbows down to the earth. So your front foot is trying not to turn out too much. You want to keep it somewhat straight. What we're looking for is length and stretch across the front of your left hip here. Notice if you're clenching anywhere, if you're gripping, if your jaw can loosen, if your eyebrows seem tense, and soften in any place that you can soften. If you're on your forearms, walk your hands back and towards your foot. Bring your right knee back to meet your left. Tuck your toes. Send your hips back to meet your heels. Stretch your arms forward. And we'll take Ashtanga Vinyasa here by when you come forward, maybe you want to watch me this and then try. You'll come forward by your first touching chest and chin, and then sliding your heart forward, coming up through Cobra. And then exhale, back down. So if you didn't already try it, and then back to downward dog. So if you want to try it again, tuck your toes, arms reach forward, elbows point back, chest and chin, slide your heart forward, Cobra, and then release through plank or knee plank back to downward dog. Left side, lead with your breath, reach your right heel back and up, press your hands down and forward, and then draw your knee in through center, shift and place your foot next to your thumb. Solidify your base, make sure your feet are hip distance, right knee back or back knee slightly bent. Hands sweep forward and up. Gosh, what did we do on this side? I've completely forgotten what we did here. Gosh. I wish somebody could remind me. Oh,
on the
elbows bent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Boy, that was a crazy moment. Palms open. Let's inhale, exhale, draw your elbows down, palms open. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, broaden across your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, elbows draw down powerfully. Inhale, arms above your head. Place your palms together. And then dive forward, hands to the earth. Ground your back knee. I actually do remember now where we're going. This is what happens when you get distracted and don't stay present. Hands on the inside of your left foot. I was too busy thinking about what we were going to do next. So you can stay here with your hips moving down and forward, or walk your hands out, which helps lengthen your spine and give you a little more stretch through your hips. Or then maybe elbows come down, palms together, but only if you can do so without rounding your back and without gripping in your hands or your jaw or your mind. Notice what thoughts arise and pass away. And then take a couple more breaths here. Releasing through the front of your right hip. And we'll slowly walk your hands back in if they were lowered down. Left knee back to meet your right. Tuck your toes. Hips reach back. Arms reach forward. And then lead with your heart. Elbows point back as you come down, chest and chin. Slide your heart forward. Loop your shoulders. Ashtanga Bhujangasana. And release. And then we'll come back through plank to downward dog and head into our first krama, which we'll come down to our knees for. Also, as a side note, that's called Ashtanga Bhujangasana because there's 8 points of connection, including your feet. It's 2, knees are 2, chest, chin, and then hands. So it totals out to 8. So it's an 8-point Bhujangasana. Okay, so krama 1, we'll start just like we did in our core work, shoulders, hips, knees. And tops of your feet can go ahead and be flat. So we're just going to do supported camel for this one. And what I want you to consider is engaging your lower abdominals just like we did when we went back, but we're not going to go back. But I want that same connection to your center. So go ahead, engage your lower abdominals. Take your hands behind you, fingertips pressed down, so you can press down through your hips and reach your heart up. Elbows point back, shoulder blades draw together. So this isn't, we're not trying to lean back. We're really just lifting through our hearts so this back bend stays in our thoracic spine. And this movement might be pretty minuscule for a lot of us because we spend so much time in the opposite of this position. So you don't have to force it. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just worry about whether or not you can feel it. And then we'll come back to center, hands to heart. Take a breath. Because that can be a lot. Bring your hands down. Find some organic movement through cat-cow. Make sure you go both ways if you were finding something that had a cycle to it or circular. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward dog. Inhale your right leg back. Reach your right leg up as high as you can and bend at your right knee. So you're pressing down through your left heel, up through your right knee. Square your shoulders to the front of the mat. And now exhale, draw your knee in through center. Lift from center, shift forward. And place your right foot next to your right hand. Softly bend through your back leg. Press down, rise up. Familiar action, bring your left palm either to your left shoulder or the back of your neck and place your right hand on your left elbow. On your inhale, reach your upper body, your torso up and over to the right. Reach out through your left heel. Exhale, come back to center. Up and over, stretch out the front of your left hip and your left side body. Back to center. Let's do two more. Inhale, left heel really pushes back. Press your front foot down and forward. Center. And last one. Inhale and exhale. Release your arms by reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands through center. Ground your back knee. A little bit of movement here in a low lunge. Reach your hands back and then sweep your arms forward and up. Turn your palms out, melt your elbows down. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep forward. Broaden across your collarbones. Reach your heart up and back. Slight back bend here. Inhale up. Exhale, release. One more time. If you have a bucket that you're releasing some glitter or something all over you, bring your hands back down to the mat. Now we're going to do something that might be a little bit different than something we've done in the past. Bring both your hands on the inside of your front foot. Then I want you to turn your right foot out and release your left hip down. So you're kind of sitting in your left shoulder joint, but we won't be here long. So you want to press up enough so where it's supported. But as you can tell, my left foot kind of turns in, my right foot is turned out, and I'm letting a good amount of gravity do some stretching for me here on my left side. But this is a really nice way to stretch your hip and release your psoas and your hip flexors, which when we're doing so much sitting is kind of nice. And then come back into center. Right knee back to meet left. Tuck your toes, hips back. Elbows point straight back. Brush your sides as you lower chest and chin. Sweep your heart forward. Loop your shoulders, tops of feet. Press down. Rise up and melt back to the mat. Tuck your toes. Knees lift. Through plank to downward dog. Left leg. Inhale, reach back, press down through your right foot, lift up through your left, bend your left knee, right heel, left knee, pressing energetically in opposite directions. Shoulders stay square. Lots of stretch in your right leg here. Feel the expansive nature of this position. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, draw your left knee in, shift forward, left foot to left thumb. I'm excited to report that I do remember where we're headed. Bend your back knee, arm sweep forward and up. Right palm either to right shoulder or the back of your neck. Left palm to right elbow. Inhale, up and over. Right heel reaches back. Left knee still bending, pressing forward. Come back to center. Use your whole inhale to reach over. Exhale, return to neutral. Two more. Last one. Reach out through your right heel. Press your front foot down and forward. Find the tension. Come back to center. Float your arms up towards the clouds. Seal your palms. Pour your heart forward down to the earth. Ground your back knee. Both hands on the inside of your left foot. And we'll do, oh, nope, I almost forgot something again, but I didn't. Okay, so we'll do our prayer wheel, low lunge prayer wheel here. Sweep your arms forward, heart reaches up, turn your palms open and melt your shoulders down your back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hips move down and forward. Inhale, release. Let's do one more. Thumbs lead, lift. And exhale, soften your hands all the way down to the mat. Left hand on the inside of left foot. Left foot turns out. Lower your right hip down. So you are sort of letting gravity do some work here, more so than we normally do. But I'm really looking for a nice release of the front of your extended leg hip. So you might be turning your shoulders towards your left foot, towards your left leg, moving your hips down and forward. Kind of shift a little, find the right spot for you. It'll be slightly different for everybody, dependent upon your skeletal structures. And come back to center. Left knee back to meet right, toes tuck, send your hips back. Last time, elbows point back, chest and chin. Heart sweeps forward, shoulders loop, tops of feet, press down, rise up, and release. You come back just to seated rather than to downward dog. So I'm going to go through 3 options for you, and I'm going to do so without taking too much time, but enough so you know what to do. So your option number 1, if your lower back is bothering you, then I recommend sticking with camel or moving on to the full camel, which would be reaching for your heels and again, lifting through your heart rather than trying to bend through your lower back. So your hips move forward, heart lifts, or stick with supported camel. If you know that your lower back is safe to do more spinal extension, and then we're very open for wheel pose, and then even the next step from that. So I'm going to show both. If you're going into wheel pose, hands will come behind you. Keep your knees pressing towards together as if you had a block between them. Keep your chin tucked until you get all the way up, and then release your neck. So you can be here, and let's actually let your first round, if you're doing wheel, just be this one, because we'll take 2 rounds. And then on the next round, if you'd like, the next version would be to lower one forearm at a time, and you slowly come down. And this is why we did dolphin. Bring your palms together, heart reaches forward. So I cannot see you all today. So I need you all to promise me that you're going to take the version that is right for you. Without moving, just say, I promise that I'm not going to put my back in danger. Or not without moving, I mean without unmuting. I promise not to put my back in danger, they all said. Great. Thank you for that commitment. So let's find your first version. If you're setting up for camel, go ahead, organize your hips over your knees. If you're setting up for wheel, you know what to do. I'm going to go ahead and do camel with any camel folks. So the next step for camel would be toes tuck, hands behind you, thumbs reach towards the pinky edge side of your foot, and then you reach your hips forward and your heart up. Shoulder blades move together, hips move forward. Good. Lift through your heart. Keep your gaze forward. And then come back, hands to heart center. Pause for a moment here, neutral if you're in camel. If you're in wheel, start making your way down. If you did go into wheel, resist the urge to bring your knees to your chest and just take your knees from side to side. If you're coming out of camel, move organically. And if you decide that you've had enough back bends, come to your back. With your feet wide, bring your knees together. That will be a nice feeling for your low back. Okay, so your last round, I'm going to do a wheel to forearms. Hands behind you. Chin tucks, elbows resist flaring out. Keep them in line with your shoulders as you rise up. Release your neck. Start to move your shoulders over your wrists. And then if it's okay with your body, you'll lower down to a forearm. Crawl the other forearm in, palms together, elbows in line with your shoulders, not wider. And then press into your forearms, lift your hips, reach your heart forward. And then tuck your chin. Hands will come behind your neck, slowly, carefully. We'll all make our way back to the mat. We'll all come into constructive rest with our feet wide and your knees together. So instead of your feet being in near your hips, just keep them in line with your knees. And then bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Soften through your shoulders. Soften through your jaw. Release any tension in your forehead or your cheekbones. Begin to intentionally lengthen your inhale and exhale. Nothing forced. But enough structure to enable you to enter a calmer state. Back bends can be really stimulating of our nervous system, of our sympathetic nervous system. And as we come into Shavasana, we want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So we're going to take this moment to transition. Imagine the sounds of your breath emulating the ebbs and flows, the gentle waves of a calm sea. Pulling in and away from the shore. And then you could start to walk your feet into the same distance as your hips. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you stop here with your arms around your shins, or maybe you take the outside edges of your feet and arrange your ankles over your knees. Rock gently from side to side. From happy baby, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Clasp your hands behind your thigh. Pull your left shin in towards you. Relax your shoulders. Lengthen the space between your right hip and your right armpit. Try to do so without tensing through your right side or your right arm or your right shoulder. And then keep this figure four, but place your right foot on the earth, Take your arms out to your sides and drop this whole structure over to the right so that your left foot is flat on the earth onto your right side. You could take your right hand to your left foot if that feels comfortable. It kind of feels like a nice grounding anchor point. You might feel some relief or some unwinding happening in your sacrum and your lower back. And bring this whole structure back to center. Draw your knees in towards your chest, and then place your right ankle over your left thigh. Both hands behind your left, on your left hamstring, interlaced. Pull your right shin in towards you. Relax your shoulders. Relax your forehead. And then gently move this whole structure over to the left. So your right foot is flat, right arm out from your shoulder. Grab a hold of your right foot with your left hand. The gaze to your right hand would slightly intensify this stretch. And come back to middle. Ground both your feet on the earth. Just a couple of times, take your knees from one side to the other. And while you're doing this, I want you to check in with your lower back. And if it feels like there's any tension, I invite you to spend Shavasana in constructive rest pose rather than Shavasana, which sometimes has an opportunity to maybe create a little bit of tension in your lower back because there's no support. So if you're going to stretch your legs out, go ahead and do so. If you know that bringing your knees together with your feet wide as your mat is the right thing today for you, do that. And then it might feel nice to place hand on your belly and hand on your heart. Otherwise, if you're in Shavasana, hands to your side, palms open. We'll be here for a couple of minutes or so. And I will, of course, let you know when it's time to come out. Out moving. Bring your awareness to the space around you. Evolve your awareness into your physical body by deepening your breath, taking a long inhale and exhale. Small movements with fingers and toes, circles of wrists and ankles. And reach your hands over your head, stretch from fingertips to toe tips. And exhale, bend at your knees, roll to one side. Pausing for just a moment to appreciate your ability to ride the waves, move fluidly. Use your top arm to press you up to a seated position, hands together, palms at your heart. Sit tall, rising through the crown of your head with dignity. Thank you so, so much for keeping this community together, practicing for yourself and for others. And may you and all the living things out there be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with strength and ease. Namaste.